Hello, every pony. It is I, Mr. Raffle Biscuits. I am here with Fiendship is Magic, bringing you the latest and greatest episode reviews. Today we are doing the special of Season 3, the highly anticipated season premiere. And we're going to jump right into the review and talk about the pony performances. And we're going to start off with Applejack. And I feel like overall I really liked Applejack in this episode. She did a good job. I particularly enjoyed her and Rainbow Dash trolling Rarity. That was very humorous. As well as, I think her shining moment in the episode is when she's guarding the Crystal Heart and she's trying to distract the other ponies by pointing out other things in the fair. However, I do think that she is a little too neutral and also does not add significance to the episode, and for that reason I will give her an 8 out of 10. Next is Fluttershy, the adorable Fluttershy. And I do feel that Fluttershy did not get enough screen time actually to get appropriately developed. In fact, I struggle to think about anything that really stuck out with me. In fact, the only thing that really comes to mind is when Rainbow Dash just demolishes her in the jousting competition. And other than that, I really just don't feel like Fluttershy was that great in this episode, mostly because I can't really remember anything she did. So I'm going to give her a 6.5 out of 10. Next up is Rainbow Dash, and I enjoyed Rainbow Dash in this episode, mostly because she is just a troll and a douche, and it's awesome. I like how they mess with Rarity. I like her in the jousting competition. That's Rainbow Dash's shining moment. I like how she has the Spartan/Trojan haircut out of her armor. It's pretty sweet. And I like that she's just always classic Rainbow Dash, way too into her own awesomeness. Overall, though, I don't think she had a very significant role either, and I will give her a 7.5 out of 10. Next up is Rarity, and although in general I typically find Rarity to be slightly annoying, I actually very much enjoyed her in this episode, due to the fact that she's just insanely over the top and all into her fabulousness. But I think where she really shines is just her ludicrous crystalgasms throughout the entire episode. I also strangely loved how she made a straw hat with like 3 sticks of hay and a straw. I found that to be pretty funny. And overall, I'd give her actually probably like an 8 out of 10 as well. Next up is Pinkie Pie, and holy crap, did she just absolutely steal the show. I mean, it's everything we've come to love about Pinkie Pie. She has the spy suit, she has the Fluttershy costume, she breaks the fourth wall when she's grabbing books, she's on stilts during the last song. It was just freaking incredible. I think Pinkie Pie just was absolutely phenomenal in this episode. In fact, she is by far the best pony in this episode, and for that reason, I'm definitely giving her. I'm gonna go 9.75. I mean, it was damn near perfect. Last but not least is Twilight, and we're doing her last because she's the main pony of the episode, in my opinion. And for that reason, also, we do a little deeper critiquing. I like Twilight overall in this episode. We'll focus on the pros first. I think number one was Twilight in the library was definitely her best moment, where much like Rarity is just having knowledge gasms, if that's even possible. But she's just overwhelmed by the vastness of the library, which was pretty awesome. And overall, I think how she found the history and the song that they sung afterwards was kind of cool too. But the research that she does and actually organizing the fair together is it's so classic Twilight. She just always is managing things and making sure everything's in order. So I think that was definitely the big plus for her. Some of the other cooler Twilight moments was the introduction of the new spells that they gave her. Number one was the levitation spell, the self-levitation spell to be more exact. That was pretty cool. Also, seeing her use dark magic after Celestia used it was pretty awesome. I think down the road, the evolution of dark magic versus light magic is going to become very important, so I think that was cool to see her do that. The gravity spell was pretty awesome. Um, and all in all, those that's what really stuck out with me with Twilight was all the new spells that she got. They were really cool. Now, conversely, some of Twilight's cons. Typically, I like her nerdiness. It's usually pretty funny, but there's just something about it in this one that I found kind of annoying. Actually, it was almost too over the top. Um, and also, I'm getting really sick of Twilight just not understanding that she can't possibly fail a test. I mean, I know it's a kids show, but there's something kind of silly about Twilight and Celestia's relationship where Twilight doesn't understand that it's not the end of the world if she doesn't pass a test. I mean, that was just really annoying to me. I gotta be honest. With all that being said, with Twilight being the main character in the episode, I do think she did a good job overall. I liked her in the episode, and I'll give her an 8 out of 10. I still think Pinkie Pie was just blew everyone away in this episode. But Twilight does get an 8 out of 10. Next, we're going to review the plot of the episode, and this is where I think the review is going to get the most negative. Um, I really did not love the plot in this. I think it could have been great, which is what made it so frustrating. King Sombra, for example, could have been an awesome villain, but inevitably he just did not get any character development, no screen time. Um, it just it also the thing that just really bugged me about it was it reminded me too much of the season 1 premiere. They both had this like wispy smoke mysteriousness to them, but they never really did anything. It was all just ominous, looming menacingly, but they just never did anything to make it really threatening. And also, I don't want to get too harsh, but in all honesty, I think this is like one of the worst paced episodes I've seen in a while. Um, there's just something about it that felt rushed, or um, just stuff was out of place. There's too many fillers. By the end of the episode, I remember I was watching it. There was like 5 minutes left, and it was like, the climax of everything. And it was just like, how are they gonna wrap this all up in 5 minutes? I hated most about the plot was it just they didn't use their time constraint well. I know that they have to have the strict 44-minute time slot for their show, but they could have taken out some of the scenes that I felt like were really unnecessary. Like there's too much running around. The stairs, oh my goodness. If I saw one more stair scene, I was gonna just throw a controller at the TV or something. There's too many stairs. Um, that just took up way too much time. And then at the end of it, like I was saying, after in the last 5 minutes, it's like, oh bam, Spike gets thrown off, he saves the heart, they put it in, and then they all like, push, it's just it happened way too quick. And that's another thing that I really just did not like about the pacing was the Crystal Ponies. The episode was supposed to revolve around the Crystal Ponies. I liked the build up of how they are all depressed and they can't remember things. But the thing that just drove me nuts was how drastically everything changed too quickly. Like it was in an instant. Like literally, they were just like, "Oh, hey, guess what? The crystal fair's back," and then everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, my crystals are back!" And it was too drastic. It was like it should have built up more. Like the best one was like the older one that worked at the library when she was like, "Oh yeah, I work at the library," but other than that, it was just like too quickly. Like someone would like one of them literally sniffed apples and suddenly got their crystals back, and one of them was in a petting zoo and all of a sudden they were just like, woo, everything's good. It was just something about that just really bugged me. I think they fluctuated way too much between being happy and depressed. It was like 1 second they had their glowing sheen, and then the next second they were like, oh, I'm so sad. So I think that was just another thing with the pacing. That's something that really bugged me was the flip flopping between happy and sad. It was too drastic. It wasn't presented well enough, in my opinion. And it just inevitably it just felt too rushed. I feel like the plot was the inevitable downfall of this episode. Um, it just it wasn't good, and I hate to say it, but it just was not good. And I know like it sounds like I'm being harsh, but really I gotta give this like a 4 out of 10.